This week we're going to be talking about September 4th through the 10th. Jupiter is retrograde in Taurus. This week we're highlighting 5 planets in 4 signs: Cancer, Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. What that means is it's time to get practical. Create a foundation that you want to build upon for the rest of the astrological and calendar year. Nurture yourself with kindness, honor your values, hold yourself accountable for what you want. Create a daily routine that supports you in getting to where you want to be.
The weekly transit.
Astrology is a language that communicates how the planets and stars influence life on Earth. I'm Scott Tajarian. I'm an interpreter of this language. Join me and my co-host Ingrid Iverson, who helps bring an even more practical look at this astral language. The weekly transit is here to bring clarity to the chaos, so you can ride the planetary waves instead of the planets riding you.
The weekly transit.
Let's get into it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Let's get into it. What do you want to get into?
I guess just a little recap of last week.
And
then
last week was the full moon in Pisces. Venus went direct in Leo. Uranus went retrograde in Taurus. So a lot of shifting, a lot of releasing, continued stagnation. It was sort of the frequencies of last week. You know, the Virgo energy about getting organized, figuring things out in a practical way. Daily basis. What are you doing from the moment you're waking up to the moment you go to sleep? But really the full moon release was releasing all the guilt, shame, regret, blame that is impeding the progress of your heart, the desires of your heart. But I'm just really thinking about all this stagnation with all these retrograde planets. You know, there's Mercury retrograde. There is Jupiter's now retrograde, or that's this week. Jupiter is retrograde. And then there's Saturn and Chiron and Neptune and Pluto. It's like 6 planets.
And all this retrograde stuff just makes me think like we're learning some less, like the stagnation comes from having to learn a lesson again. And that's like, feels frustrating. You're like, why am I back where I started? And
yes,
definitely feeling, just having to revisit a lot of subjects. Like I started going to a new therapist and I'm like, I feel like I'm revisiting the same shit as I did before. Like, okay, none of this is new information. Like I'm reliving the same shit I've been living. Let's see what else. I mean, relationship wise, just recognizing patterns that have been going on my whole life. Like I think maybe an awareness is happening where we're able to see that things are happening again and it's irritating, but instead of just being annoyed, like taking note of the things that are irritating you that you're having to relive so you can actually work through them to not have to relive them again and again. It's like, okay, I already did this, but it's here because I still have some stuff to learn. So what is that lesson? What do I not want to repeat?
Yes. I love awareness. I think that's like the key word, awareness. You know, when I think of Virgo's ruled by Mercury. Mercury is the planet that rules the mind. It's about becoming consciously aware of, like you said, the patterns that have been repeating themselves over and over again in your life. It's like the same old story, the same old issues, the same things that I'm frustrated with over and over again. And these retrograde planets allow us to slow down and really reflect upon everything that we're experiencing again. So that hopefully this time, through that greater conscious awareness,
we can
we're
do it
able
different.
to make, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm hoping so because it's like I get it's an annoyance at life, but really it's an annoyance with myself. I'm like I need to make new choices. I need to even when I think that it's not possible to make a change, sometimes it's like, oh, this is how I am or this is the way life is. It's like, okay, sometimes you need maybe someone else to push you or need some sort of big event to happen where you're like, oh shit, I have the power. I just have to think outside the box. I have to do things differently than I've ever done them before, and that's uncomfortable. But that's how
Mm.
you make big changes to
Yeah.
sit in the discomfort and try things in a new way.
Yeah. It's how you grow.
Um, Before we go into this week, I wanted to
Yeah.
mention a couple things.
What's that?
If he said, "What's that?"
Oh.
Well, nothing news to you.
Oh, okay.
We
What's
only
going on? What's happening, Ingrid?
I want to thank our subscribers if you want to pull those up. But while you're doing that, we have our YouTube channel, which I think we're 25 subscribers away from our 1,000 subscribers. So that
Hmm.
means when we get to 1,000, we can get monetized with ads. So if you like supporting the podcast, we'd love it if you subscribed. Even if you don't watch on YouTube, it helps us get monetized. That would be super amazing. We would be
Hmm.
very grateful. We have had some really lovely, I don't know what to call them, super thanks. They're little tips on YouTube. So
Yeah.
if you like us and we're helping you navigate life more gracefully, you can send us a tip through YouTube. You can subscribe through Spotify. There's a support link in the show notes. $1, $5, or $10 a month. You can buy the book, The Basics of Astrology. Everything, all the links are in the show notes.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to
Write us
learn more,
reviews.
yeah, write us reviews,
Yeah.
share us on
Positive
your socials.
reviews. Yeah.
Only positive ones.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, yeah, grab the book. It's $10 for a digital download. It's $30 for a paperback copy. It's a really beautiful art table book. Or if you want to invest more in your astrology knowledge, it's if you're watching us on YouTube or on Spotify, you can see all the symbols that we talk about here. It's a very simple glossary of terms and conditions of what we use here on the podcast.
Mm.
It's the way I learned astrology. I've been doing the podcast forever and had trouble really retaining the information unless Scott was translating it. So if you really want to level up, the Basics of Astrology is an amazing tool to get on the same page as us. You can follow along with the podcast. You can go to the website, theweeklytransit.com, go to the forecast. There's like notes of everything we talk about on here, all of the images that flash across the screen, as well as a little summary. All of the journal prompts that Scott asks me on here are there as well.
Mm. Right on.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Well, thank our sponsors for the episode. We went through Spotify. We want to thank Nicole, Brenna, Kendra, Jasmine, Janelle, Vincent, and Michelle, Clarissa, Aline, Cassie, Merdinas, Brooke, Ricky, Amaranth, Annie, Deborah, Haley, and Carrie.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all so much for supporting the podcast. We appreciate all of you. It helps us spend more
Yes.
time doing what we love, sharing the planets and stars with you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right on. I have a couple announcements too. Last week I was talking about this book that I edited,
Yes.
Virgo,
Mhm.
which is part 1 of the 12 Pointed Star Saga by T.E. Tran. This is a really fun young adult series, so it's an easy read for you old adults like me.
I love the young adult reads. They're very
Exactly.
entertaining.
It's very entertaining, very fun. Like I can see this being turned into like a TV show on HBO or something like that. But it's a saga about this young teen named Jasmine and her experience in the dysphoria of the future world where everyone has been divided into 12 sects, divided
All the
by
signs.
the signs, exactly. So
I when I edited last week's, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to remember to either, is it a pre-order or is it now for order?
I think now it's for order.
Okay.
So yeah, you
Okay,
can
I'll do
actually
it.
buy the book like a digital download on Amazon. I'll put the link in the show notes as I did last week. I also wanted to highlight another book, and like all these astrology books coming out here. This book I did not edit, but this was a book that was shared with me by the author David Ben Simon. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Sorry, David, if I'm not. Ben Simon. But David is another astrologer, and he wrote a book called The Little Crab Finds a Friend.
Oh my God, it's so cute.
This is a children's book. So
I'm dead.
like
I can't.
yes,
Stop.
these drawings are so cute. This is like the perfect book to buy to read to your child. There's 2 books that are out right now. The links will be in the bio for this book as well. David also wanted me to let everyone know that you can buy the book. It's available on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, and even Pal's Books. So if those are your places to shop, you can purchase Little Crab Finds a Friend. And yes, it is just the cutest book. Like you said, Ingrid, it is so cute. And if you want to read something to your child, that is a good read. So to teach, astrology, I love like how
That's so
astrology
sweet.
is being brought into all these creative venues, these books, because, it's my dream to help people understand the language of astrology, to become more fluent in the language of astrology. I would love if, in kindergarten, along with learning the ABCs, you're learning the signs and the planets. And then as you get into middle school and junior or middle school and high school, you're starting to learn about your chart, and you're recognizing how special you are, how unique you are, and you're learning about your gifts and your challenges. And then even into college, like doing research on astrology. This is my dream. I'd love to see that happen. So, and I want to be a part of it, of course. So, but it's fun to see like children's books
Super
and young
fun.
adult books, and
Yeah, that's definitely something I've never seen before, both of these.
yeah, it's amazing. So I'm reading Scorpio right now, the 12 points.
Of course you are.
I've read Virgo and Libra, and right now I'm editing Scorpio. So they're very fun. It gets better and better each book too. It just gets drawn in. I'm being sucked in to this story. So I think that is all that I have for today.
Before we even move into the week, I like my little precursor of what's been happening for me this week is very Virgo energy. Wait, what week is this? Anyways, my health, wellness, nutrition. I just have realized like the last year has felt very chaotic. I feel like I'm driving all over the place, appointments, physical therapy, like trying to keep my house clean. It never seems like I can get anywhere. But in the last 2 months, especially, I'm like, my physique is now reflecting all of this hard work that I've put in. And instead of saying like, oh, like people like compliment my body, and I'll just be like, oh yeah, I'm lucky, which I am lucky. But I've been working my ass off, and I'm like, I go 3 days a week to like strength training type of stuff with a personal trainer, and then I work usually 3 days a week. So it's like hours and hours of my week are spent on my health and just trying to maintain having enough protein. And like, I'm not trying to go with the flow because I can't really keep up with everything. But over time, over this last year and a half, I think I've put in so much effort, and it still feels like it's hard to keep up with. But I'm like, oh, I'm the person that goes to the gym a few times a week. I never ever thought of myself as that, but the being dedicated to the schedule, being dedicated to keep showing up and just crossing it off my list every week has been like a feat, and I feel really like proud of it. And I feel like I'm finally being able to like recognize that it's part of me instead of just like, oh, this month or for the next 2 months I have to do something. I'm like, it's been almost 2 years.
Yes.
Like I feel like, yeah, just being able to check in on a weekly basis to see what we should be doing, what we're working on. It's like nothing's ever going to be perfect. I'm looking over here. I've clean laundry everywhere. Some of my, I just cleaned my kitchen, but half my kitchen is now dirty, and just being like, okay, I can either stay home and clean or I can go to work. Like, just pick one, and either one is fine. Like,
Mm.
sometimes you have to just pick work, and then your house is messy and it's annoying and life is irritating because I want everything to be clean all the time, but that's not realistic at this point. So just trying to like balance the list, keep checking in on it, try not to get too irritated because things are not usually going my way.
Totally.
Trying not to be so rigid, like that Virgo critic where I'm just like, everything has to be perfect. Otherwise, I'm going to be so annoyed. It's like, okay, knowing, kind of just being like, okay, well, I'm annoyed and it's fine because I'm always going to be slightly not expecting it to be perfection and just being like, okay, that's part of me. I'm annoyed that things aren't perfect, but like, it's not going to be perfect. So just chill.
Yes. Yes. Well, I mean, I can totally relate. I mean, I've been doing a cleanse for several weeks. Like a couple weeks
Yeah.
ago, we talked about how I've been communicating with this medical intuitive psychic, Mary. Somebody mentioned like you should have Mary on the podcast in the notes.
Would she ever?
And well, I
It's
mean,
hard to
I
wrangle.
want to just say that she doesn't have a computer. She doesn't have
She
a
doesn't even
cell
have a cell
phone.
phone.
Yeah. So Mary isn't doing a podcast. Mary may not even know what a podcast is. So I have no idea, but she's got a phone, a landline that has an answering machine where you call, and if she hears you and wants to pick it up, then
If you
she'll
get
answer
lucky.
the phone. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like this is so old school.
And she just has you
So
mail cash or checks
mail
in the
money.
mail.
Yeah, exactly. I mail her
Mail me some
cash
cash.
money, cash money in the mail. Oh, just send it whenever, honey. Okay, just put cash in the mail and hope for the best. So yeah, Mary's not coming on the podcast. I'd love to have her on the podcast. I mean, we could talk to her for hours and hours. She's blows my mind with all that she shares with me. But doing this cleanse
Yeah, how's it
has
going?
really helped me, and just detoxifying a lot. It's helping Maggie, it's helping Gabriella. Like we're all cleansing, we're all in that Virgo mode.
Yeah.
And when you look at it too, like when you think about like the rhythm of the signs, and I want to pull up the basics of astrology. This is, the houses, but the houses give us a clearer understanding of the order of the signs, because they're the same order of the signs is the order of the houses. And we always talk about Aries season. Oh, it's the beginning of the new year. It's the beginning of the astrological new year. Well, by the time we get over here to Virgo, now you've had this time to figure out who you are, that's Aries, what you need, that's Taurus, what you need to learn, that's Gemini, creating a home for yourself, that's Cancer, finding out what you enjoy, that's Leo, and then Virgo, what's the work? What is worth the work? And we know what is worth the work because we know what we enjoy. We know what we need to have a home. We know what we've learned. We know what we need, and then we know who we are. And so now we're ready to put that all together and really focus on creating the structure that supports who we are, what we want to learn, supporting our home, supporting our sense of fun and play.
I mean, it's kind of perfect. Like, it's like
Yes.
halfway through the astrological new year. We're kind of having a check-in, a cleanse of, okay, we've gathered all this information. Now we need to organize it into a way that really is working for us.
Yes. And what's next? Libra and Libra's relationships. So you don't want to bring anyone into a relationship if you're a mess.
Yeah.
Right? Like you want to be at your best when you are presenting yourself to someone else to start a new relationship, just like you want them to be at their best, right? Well,
It's almost like when you're having someone over to your house for the first time.
Hmm.
You're just like you're presenting your space, you're presenting yourself, and you want to put your best foot forward. So you're going to feel more at ease, more relaxed, more connected, more available when you're not like, if you're in your house, you're like, oh my gosh, I like, my dishes are here, the laundry is here. Like, oh, what are they thinking? It's like, no, everything's where it should be. I can just be present and like work on the connection instead of having your mind elsewhere in your past, in the future, in some trauma,
Yes.
cleaning your mind.
Yes. Clean your mind, clean your body, clean your daily life. It's about creating that efficiency in all areas.
You want to take us into the week? What are you giving me the side eye?
I was waiting for you to say that. So
Oh,
so this is the week of September 4th to the 10th. Here we are, Monday, September 4th, where Mercury retrograde forming a supportive trine with Jupiter retrograde. So Mercury, the messenger of the gods, guide of souls to the underworld, the planet of consciousness, communication, coordination, in the mutable earth sign symbolized by the Virgin and ruled by Mercury, Virgo, forming a supportive earth trine, 120-degree angle away from Mercury is Jupiter, the god of thunder, lord of justice, the planet of luck and expansion. In the fixed earth sign symbolized by the bull, Taurus. So today is not only this alignment, but today is the day that Jupiter begins its retrograde transit.
oh Christ.
So this is another retrograde transit. It's like we got through Venus being retrograde, but now here's Jupiter retrograde. So now we're back to what, seven planets that are retrograde. So Jupiter moved into its retrograde shadow at 5 degrees in Taurus on June 11th. The retrograde ends on December 30th, back where it was on June 11th. It will be there on December 30th. And then when we get to March 23rd, Jupiter will be right here at 15 degrees, moving out of its retrograde shadow. So really think about, what planets do I have between 5 and 15 degrees in earth signs, water signs, and fixed signs? The fixed signs are Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. The earth signs are Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. The water signs are Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. These are the signs that are going to make the strongest alignment to Jupiter. So this indicates where you may be experiencing abundance or extravagance, indulgence or luck. So it all depends on the planet that it's aligning to and how it's aligning with that planet. If you're curious in learning more about how this Jupiter transit could be affecting you directly, contact me for a reading at theweeklytransit.com. But this is expanding our awareness when it comes to the material realm, being practical, your values. What do you value? What are you doing to make money? And do you value what it is you're doing to make money? Where are you spending your money? And do you value what you are spending your money on? Or are you not valuing what you do to make money and then therefore spending your money on things that you don't really value because you're trying to fill the void of how you're making the money? You know, it's like people spend money because sometimes they feel guilty about the way they're making money, so they just spend it frivolously.
Well, I mean, I just started making like a serious budget. Like I've always kind of had one, but revamping my budget, being more aware of how much money I need to make each day or how many days a week to make it make sense, to be able to pay debt off, to be able to save money. And I feel like that's this right here, being very conscious about where I'm spending my money, because it's so easy, even just to go to the grocery store and buy too much shit that you're not going to use, or
Oh
like
my
not
God.
plan your meal. I'm like, I went to Whole Foods the other day, which Normally I end up at Trader Joe's or Vaughn's. It's convenient, it's next to my house. Sometimes I need to go to Whole Foods. Vaughn's is so depressing next to my house. Oh my God. And I just felt
Mm,
so, it was a little more expensive, but I felt like I valued the food more. I'm like, I'm gonna eat every piece of this. I'm gonna like plan my day around these meals because they make me feel excited. They make me feel nourished. Maybe I'm spending more, but really maybe in the long run I'm spending less because now I'm not like eating some random fast food because I don't have anything in my house, or like it makes me feel like I value that. I value that food more.
I
It's
know
special to
that
me.
you've given me a hard time sometimes about going to Air One because it's
Hmm.
so expensive,
Yeah.
but that's why I go there,
Yeah.
because I hate grocery shopping. I hate going to the grocery store. Most grocery stores are so low vibe.
They
But
are.
You go to Air One,
It's
and it's not low
magical.
vibe.
No,
It's
it's like you're at fucking
yeah, you
Disneyland. You're
spend more money, but you know what? Like the people that work there are so helpful, so accommodating. They will come up to you if you're just standing in an aisle. Like, can I help you find anything? You know, and if they don't know, they'll find somebody who can. They're so helpful, and the produce is great, and the products they sell there are great. I mean,
ugh,
it's
the
worth the
produce.
extra money. It's just like, so,
I
you
mean, I
know,
went to Whole Foods. I got a wrap, the same shitty little wrap. I mean, it's not shitty, but the one at, like, I don't usually get pre-made food, but Trader Joe's has this little wrap. I'm like, it's good enough. It's probably $6 or $8. I went to Whole Foods, a magical wrap. It was $8. I was like, oh my God, this is literally the same price, and it makes me feel like,
it's better quality.
yeah.
It's better
So I don't
quality.
know. Just a
So,
reminder to like make the
yes.
extra effort for the things that I value.
Well, I also really love that you talked about like getting your finances in order, because I feel like that's what this Mercury piece aligning with Jupiter, Mercury in Virgo aligning with Jupiter. This is like taking a focused, practical look at how you're spending your money, like doing the accounting. How am I making the money? How am I spending the money? Is what I'm spending it on, does it really have the value that it costs? Is it worth what I'm paying for? Am I getting paid what I'm worth? That's what this is all about. This is really honing
Yes.
into the details of finances, self-worth, and values, and eliminating whatever you need to eliminate, which
Mm.
is not in alignment with your self-worth and what you value. That's what Virgo's about. Virgo is the intestines. So it's eliminating whatever is in the body that is no longer serving the body. This is why doing a
Get the
cleanse during
fuck
Virgo
out.
season is so good.
Clean it out.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Tuesday, September 5th, the moon, the planet of emotions, transiting through Taurus, forms a supportive Earth trine. Similar to yesterday, there were two Earth signs that we were talking about, but this is one Earth sign that we were talking about yesterday, Taurus, and another Earth sign that we weren't talking about, the cardinal Earth sign symbolized by the goat, Capricorn. This is Pluto retrograde transiting through Capricorn. Pluto's the god of death, lord of the underworld, the planet of transformation. So thinking about yesterday, getting the finances in order, eliminating what is no longer serving you. This is the transformation of your material well-being, transformation of your relationship to authority, your relationship to yourself as an authority, transforming your emotional nature so that you are holding yourself accountable for what you're feeling. Like, I know that going to Air One makes me feel better than going to Vaughn's. But this is taking responsibility for what you desire as in your emotional nature within the material, and transforming whatever it is you need to transform within yourself or within your material surroundings so that you have what it is you want and desire.
I mean, I'm also thinking doing things in a new way in terms of plotting and planning how you make money or your career. so you can be more emotionally fulfilled
Love
by
that.
the material world. So
Yes.
kind of maybe like
Yes.
a tail end of that Virgo energy from yesterday. It's like eliminating shit, and then we're like, okay, this is what we don't want to be doing anymore. How are we going to do things in a new way to kind of keep moving forward and keep on the path of this cleansing of our values and how we make money and how we save money and all that kind of stuff.
That's it. Exactly.
Same, I mean, it's very budget. It can be also very budget oriented as well, which can seem not the same as like, oh, making a budget, but that's based on your values. It's like if you need to know what is important to you, it just all ties into your whole life. It's like if you're not having a budget, you're spending frivolously or you're making and you're not aware of where your money's going and you're not going to have the life that you want. It's like being intentional with where you're spending your money is going to make you a lot happier emotionally.
Totally. Well, think about that Capricorn energy, and it's a lot about budgeting. If you're
It's
climbing
like
a
planning,
mountain,
it's plotting, it's
yes,
you need to know what's going to happen in the future. You got to look ahead.
yeah. If you're climbing a mountain, you can't take your entire kitchen up the side of a mountain with a grocery store. You can only carry
Mm,
so much in your bag.
yeah.
So you have to plan, like you said, plot your course, figure out how much time it's going to take you to get from here to there. How much food do I need during that time that's going to help me last to the top of the mountain and back down so I'm not starving to death? It's plotting that out, planning that out, accounting for it all.
A lot of people have like anxiety about budgeting where they're just like, ah, it's just, they don't even want to look at their money because it just gives them anxiety because they don't feel like
Mhm.
they're going to have enough. But the reality is, if you don't plan, you will never have enough and you're going to
Mhm.
be wasting money. There's
Yep.
no way if you're not cleaning shit out and looking at what you're doing that you're going to be aware of everything. So just even if it's uncomfortable sitting with it, and it's going to actually make you feel better and more at ease when you know where you're how much you're making and how much is going out. It's going to help you be more aware of all of it and feel
Yes.
comforted in the material.
Yes. Absolutely. Pay attention to it. It's time to get real. It's time to step into reality. Look at here we are on Wednesday, September 6th. What have we talked about this week? We've talked about 3 earth signs every day. Monday was Virgo and Taurus. Tuesday, Taurus and Capricorn. Wednesday, September 6th, the sun conjunct Mercury in Virgo. So the sun, the planet of light, life, and vitality, at the same degree as Mercury retrograde in Virgo. So again, more earth energy focusing on the practicalities of your daily life. Do I have everything that I need to survive or thrive in my daily life? And if not, what do I need to get rid of? What do I need to eliminate? What do I need to add? How can I structure my day in a way that supports me through the week, through the month,
Yes,
through
yes,
the
yes.
year, through my life? This is about creating new habits, healthy habits. That's what this is about.
I mean, I never used to have a clean or organized car. I always had a chaos car of, I don't know, trash, clothes, always clothes, need to have extra clothes. I don't know what I was doing that I always needed clothes. It was just very disorganized. It was never cleaned. And then, in the last couple of years, I've really gotten to appreciate what it feels like to have an organized and clean space. I guess maybe in the last like 10 years. But, especially just actually cleaning my car, I would just let it get dirty. Like, who cares? But now I'm like, I take pride in making sure, like, especially if I know I have a busy week, I'm like, I need to clean anything out of my car that doesn't belong. Maybe it's just a pair of shoes, a water bottle, whatever. I feel like it just can easily accumulate. Clean everything out, go through the car wash, vacuum the inside, wipe it down. Like, having your outer space cleansed is going to in turn soothe your mind. You have space, you know where all of your belongings are. You don't have, I don't know if anyone was listening a couple weeks ago, I'm like, all 3 of my brushes are in the car or so. How does that happen? I have no brush. So now to brush my hair and take a shower, I have to go to my car, just like read. It just becomes chaotic. So just making routines of these things that are actually important to us. It's like we can put them
Mhm.
off. We're like, oh, we're gonna go to dinner with friends. Like, I'm tired, I don't want to do it. It's like all these excuses. You need to be irresponsible because you're going to make your life so much better when you're just aware of the things and you incorporate them into a routine every week. Setting aside time to
Totally.
say what is important to me and making sure I get those things done before anything else.
Yes. Yes. Prioritizing. And my car's, there's never anything in my car because I'm
Yeah.
just,
I mean, that's kind of like at the point I'm at where I'm just like, it's second nature to be like, it can't be there because it's going to just stress me out. Like, it's not going to feel good.
well, in my like paranoid Scorpio mind in, California, or I should say like in a populated area in California, because not all California is like this, but you leave something in your
Oh, yeah.
car and you're
It's
inviting
going to get,
somebody to break into your
oh,
car. So
absolutely.
it's a great the flip side to that is that now your car is clean
Yeah.
because
Ever
you're never
since I
going to
moved
leave
to
anything in
LA.
your car, because if you leave something in your car, then you're inviting somebody to break into your car.
Yeah, it's
So
true.
moving on to Thursday, September 7th, and lo and behold, we're talking about two more earth signs. This time it's the sun in Virgo forming that positive trine to Jupiter in Taurus, just as Mercury was on Monday. The sun is where Mercury was on Monday. The sun is in that same spot on Tuesday. So this is sort of redundant, but this is a reminder that we're being hit over the head with the same themes. Get organized, get your finances in order, get really clear about where you're spending your money, why you're spending your money there, how are you making your money, how do you feel good about that? Getting everything organized so that when you move forward through the end of the year, you feel like you're on top of your game. Your daily routine is set. You feel strong because by the time we get to the end of the year, at the end of the calendar year, everybody wants to like start over and like, okay, this is going to be the new year. So from that respect, you really want to get organized so you can have that solid push through the final quarter, but also just thinking in terms of astrologically, this the end of the year is when the sun moves into Capricorn. And Capricorn is that third earth sign along with Taurus and
Plotting,
Virgo, which is
planning.
about what do you want to achieve? So in order to get to where you want to achieve, you need to take care of your daily life right now and create that practice within your daily life that is going to support you to achieve your goals. And
I
if
mean,
go ahead.
oh,
Yeah.
I was just saying that this Jupiter energy, that's like
Mhm.
expansion, but also like that's your future.
Mhm. Yes. Yes.
You need to be looking like what are your values now, but what are your values for the future? What do you value for planning ahead? Like what do you want things to
Mhm.
look like in the future? Because it is what you're doing right now is affecting your future. And if you're not looking ahead, you're never going to get there.
Yes. Yes. That's it. What are your plans for your financial future? What do you want for yourself financially next year, the year after,
And
the
that comes
next
down
12 years
to the
until
budgeting.
Jupiter's back in Taurus? Yes. And so it's about getting it all organized, getting it in order. Finally, a water sign. Here we are, Friday, September 8th. There is Mercury transiting retrograde through Virgo, and the moon, which has moved into the sign that it rules, Cancer, the cardinal water sign symbolized by the crab, like that book we were talking about
Oh,
earlier, the little crab. So this is taking a conscious look at your roots, your home, your upbringing, your childhood, the ones who raised and nurtured you, your ancestors. Where do your habits stem from? They stem from your parents or the ones who raised and nurtured you if it
oh
wasn't your
boy.
mom and dad,
Oh
or if
no.
it exactly. So
Chaos.
yes, so how do we like delve into that past and just really nurture ourselves, be kind and caring to ourselves despite the criticism? How can we be better at taking care of our health, our diet,
Our
our daily
home.
routine, our home life, our emotions? All of this is coming up.
I mean, it's perfect. The Mercury and Virgo, it's like the awareness of this critic. It's like, okay, I know I'm going to be looking for all the things.
Mhm.
And that doesn't mean it has to be so harsh, being compassionate, that Cancer water energy, being kind to our emotions, just noticing the things that we want to make a change to. Notice what's working, notice what's working, notice what works, notice what doesn't
Mhm.
work.
Mhm.
Um, and that's just an important thing to do. You don't have to be harsh about it. It's like you have to clean your car out every so often. You have to clean your house out every so often. It's like you notice things are not where they should be. And that's a good thing. It doesn't
Mhm.
mean you have to be mean to yourself. It's just like, oh, okay, I need to do my laundry. I need to clean my fridge out. Okay, great.
Mhm.
I'm going to feel great afterwards.
Yes. Yes. This is cleaning the house, cleaning the kitchen, cleaning out your refrigerator. That's what I think about when I think of like Cancer is the kitchen, because Cancer rules the home
Mm,
and the kitchen is in the home. So this is getting everything in your home life organized. It's like when things are more efficient at home, then you're going to be more productive out there in the world.
absolutely. It's going to be easier to navigate just getting out of the house to go to the gym, go to work, all of the things. It just makes your whole day run smoother when your home life is cleansed and organized and efficient.
Yes. Continuing on with this very muddy, dry week with the water and earth energies. Now it's the sun in Virgo aligning with the moon. So yesterday was Mercury in Virgo aligning with the moon in Cancer. Today, Saturday, September 9th, is the sun in Virgo aligning with the moon in Cancer. So again, just cleaning out the house, getting rid of things, finding efficiency in the home, finding efficiency within your emotional process and how you review the past.
I'm also thinking like maybe yesterday you have the awareness, and so maybe you're making like a list. You're like, "Oh, things are not where they should be. I
Mm,
need to, get it together." And then it's like, oh, you make a plan, and then the sun is like more energizing, and you're like, "Okay, now you're crossing shit off the list. You're actually doing something about it. You're really like cleansing." Maybe yesterday,
embodying it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You're living it. You're doing it.
Yes. Yes. And then Sunday, September 10th, the moon continues on through Cancer, the sign that it rules, and opposes Pluto in Capricorn. So this is transforming your home life, transforming your relationship with your roots, your upbringing, your past, your childhood, the ones who raised
Mhm.
and nurtured you, and your ancestors, transforming your emotional nature so that you can take responsibility for yourself.
Yeah,
I am responsible for my
that's where I'm at.
circumstances. It's not anyone else's fault. And
I
it's not
feel
that I
that.
even need to blame myself, but I do need to hold myself accountable for where I am. When you hold yourself accountable, then you're taking responsibility for your success. And you're saying, I got myself into this mess. I can get myself out of this
There's
mess.
nothing you can do.
Yes.
Yeah.
We spend so much time looking at our where we are in the mess and saying, Mom,
It's so
it's
it can
your
just be so
fault, or
powerful
it's
if
your
you
fault, Dad, or
embrace
it's
it. It's
because
like you
these all
can't
these
do
things
anything
happened
about your
to
past,
me.
but
No,
some sort of
you're here. You're an
awareness
adult.
that you
Take
can change
responsibility
your
for
future.
where
You can
you
make new
are.
friends, you can get new
Take
jobs,
responsibility
you
for
can move
where
to a
you
new
are and
house, a
be
new state,
the
a new
one who
neighborhood.
changes your life.
But you have to make that initial effort. You have to think about your values, what you want for the future, and then you have to figure out how to change your current circumstance because it's possible. Maybe certain things you can't quite change, but like there's a lot of things you can.
Well, it's steps. It's steps, Ingrid. You know, it's like people, they want to get to the finish line before they even started the race. And so it's taking one step at a time. And when you look at this week, we talked about 4 signs this week. 4. We talked about Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo, the 3 earth signs, and then Cancer, 1 water sign. 3 earth signs and 1 water sign. So what does that tell you? This is about getting real in reality, practicality, and reflecting on your past, honoring your emotions, honoring your ancestors, honoring yourself in the past, seeing how you got to this point right now and where you want to go next. Where you want to go next is up to you. But in order to go there, you have to nurture yourself, be kind and caring to yourself. You need to take responsibility for what it is you want. You need to be clear about what you want based on what you value. And once you know what you want, what you value, then you need to create a format or a structure or a schedule that is a part of your daily existence that supports you along your path. That's where we are. There's no fooling during this week. This is the real right now. And so ground into who you are. This is the moment that makes you for the rest of the year. Think about it that way. This is the week that makes you, that creates the foundation for the rest of the year and for the rest of the astrological year.
I mean, it's at 50. We're halfway through.
Exactly.
So I think this little revamp, it's like you've learned all these things at the beginning part of the year, and then you have to put them into effect and plan. You have to plan the rest of the year. You're going to get to December or February, March and be like in a panic at the very end, like, oh my gosh, now I have all these things to do before the end of the year, and now I'm stressed out. I didn't get to do all the things I wanted. It's like you have to plan ahead, and this is the time to plan ahead before the holiday season, before you're at the last minute running around like crazy wondering what happened to your year.
Exactly. And if you want help planning that year, if you need help, that is what I do. I am a guide. I'm a soul Sherpa. I will help you on your path to get you to wherever you need to be. That's what the cosmic pathway is about, or the cosmic reset. If you need that quick sort of reset, that's what the cosmic reset is about. If you're interested in either of those programs, contact me, Scott at theweeklytransit.com.
You're the best, Scott. You're so
Thanks,
good
Ingrid.
at
Thank you.
You're really good at, holding someone's hand
and kicking their ass at the same time.
Yeah, in like a firm, you're very firm about it. It's like you're always telling people what they don't, well, you're telling me what I don't want to hear, but what's necessary to move forward. And I think that's like the best kind of advice you can get. It's like, you got to keep pushing forward.
Yes.
You have a lot of compassion, but you live in reality.
Yes. Absolutely.
Life is hard, and it's nice to have people that can help support us. So thank you, Scott, for always guiding me and spending time with me, and I appreciate you.
You're welcome. Of course, Ingrid. I appreciate you as well. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, I'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Thank you for listening to The Weekly Transit. Follow us on Instagram for daily updates about the planetary alignments and how to work with the energy. If this podcast is helping you navigate life more gracefully, please subscribe, rate us 5 stars, and share with your friends. If you're ready to go deeper, book a personal reading with Scott or sign up for his new moon, full moon class at theweeklytransit.com.
The Weekly Transit.